welcome everyone today. Thank you for joining us for our town hall. I'm just going to start sharing my screen here to get up some slides. Okay, folks. So just a reminder as we start, we are live streaming this event to Facebook. So if at any point you get disconnected, feel free to go and check out our Facebook page. You'll be able to see the live stream from there. We obviously won't be able to ask questions on that live stream, but obviously that's a kind of a backup option for you there. We are also recording the session. So at the end, you can watch back on YouTube. And obviously, just note that if you want to kind of come on stage, that your conversation will obviously be recorded as part of that too. So we're going to kick off with some company and product updates as usual. And then towards the end of the session, we move into a Q&A, which gives you, the audience, an opportunity to ask those questions. You'll be able to come on stage to ask those questions, or you can use the Q&A chat functionality at the bottom of your screen. Just raise your hand if you do want to come on stage, and we'll kind of move through people one by one in the order that they've raised their hands. So kicking us off today will actually be Jen. PC is just coming back from vacation in Tenerife, so he wishes he could be here, but I'm sure that you'll all agree that we have capable hands on the call handling things today. So Jen, to start us off with a support update.
Thanks, Miles. Yeah, if you saw Pierre's background last time, this is like my fake version of Pierre's background. He was in a beautiful location. I'm just pretending I am. So yes, support updates. As a whole, we have now 17 people on the team, which feels crazy. It's not, it's what we need, but it's great to have a larger team. Just to kind of break that down, we have one support engineer dedicated to in-depth troubleshooting, working with our engineering team, really debugging some more involved things. We have 6 folks focused on frontline, making sure we can get fast responses out, getting information we need, so that our core team of 10 people and 1 pending offer call can do the deep diving, get to the meat of things and really get things solved. So that's super exciting. And to kind of give you a little breakdown of what that looks like a little further, we've had Mark and Luigi join the team. That's 2 weeks ago now. What is time? May 8th, 2 weeks ago. And they are just starting to finish up their self-paced onboarding, and you will start to hear from them in conversations, within this week and early next week as well. Jem and Tristan are also on the front lines with us, and they are working directly with customers now. So yeah, as a reminder, it just takes time to get people up to speed. Our product is, we make it look simple, and that's the goal, but it takes a long time to actually understand the back end and how things work together. And the last thing we want to do is grow the team so that we have a large team, but quality suffers. Like, we care deeply about getting you a good experience, and we don't want a situation where it's, oh, I talked to one person, they told me this, and I talked to someone else, and I got this. So we care deeply about good quality, which means it just takes time to get people up to speed. So we also have Gabor and Cameron starting this week, and they are going to be on our core team kind of once they're up to speed, doing some of those more deep investigations, really getting to the root of things. Gabor is based out of Indonesia, and Cameron is in the States, out of Austin, Texas. So we're very, very excited to have them both on the team. And then, like I said, we still have 1 offer call pending for another core member of the team. So fingers crossed, that'll get us to where we need to be as a whole team. And then the exciting part, which is this larger team has allowed us to do things that are very good. I wanted to pull some numbers to show you based on where we were from the last town hall to today. We made some huge gains or losses in terms of response time. We dropped our response time. It's much, much better. So the median first response time, we gained almost 8 hours and time to close. Like, we fully solved this. We got you all set. We gained 13 hours there. So very exciting. But what's even more exciting is that normally we want charts to go up and to the right. We're very excited for this one to go down. So as you can see, the last couple of days, our response time is fantastic. And so these medians you're seeing account for last 2 weeks ago when we were still really high. So this chart is fantastic. It's showing we're going absolutely in the right direction and where we want to be, and to a spot where we can maintain that. So we're all very hopeful that once our new folks are up to speed and continually get more and more knowledgeable every day, that we'll be able to get back to within a couple hours at the most, and really be able to do more live chat, get more calls scheduled for those who need more technical troubleshooting. So yes, all very promising, and we're very excited. And last note before I pass to you, Andrew, I just want to say thank you to all of our hosts. We know that you've been more than patient in waiting for us to build the team that we needed to have in order to support you. So just thank you. I know it's been hard, and we appreciate you, and we're here to support you. And yeah, we're excited to have grown the team and be in a much better spot. So without further ado, Andrew, I will pass to you.
Thank you. And I'll cover one non-product engineering announcement. We do have one open role, and we do like to announce it to the community. We like to hire from within our customer base if you are looking for work. This is more of a junior role. So if you've got like a year experience in sales and you would like to join our incredibly fun team, we are going to share a link. Vera is here on the call as well. She's going to share a link to the job posting, but there is an open role for sales. Okay, product engineering updates. I'll start with HR as well for this. So we have 3 posts now. One of them just got filled. So as of today, we have a new engineer on the direct team. That's my team. Daniel started today. Super excited to have him on the team. He's going to be in an onboarding track for a couple of weeks, and we'll slowly start to get him churning out code for direct. We have an offer call tomorrow for a new position for us focused on IoT. So the Internet of Things, smart devices, integrations, those kind of things. Emily's going to give us some updates later on progress with smart locks. We realize this is a position that really needs a senior engineer that is focused on just the integration. So more reliable integrations for smart locks are coming. And part of that is going to be having a new full-time person on that role. And we have one open role still for direct, which is a more senior product engineer. So we're going to be transitioning Bobby, who currently has that role and is a all-star developer on our team. He's going to be transitioning into core. So we'd like someone to basically take over his role on the direct team. Okay, ChatGPT. We're not gonna have too many more announcements about this, but we're still in this kind of free trial period right now. So next slide, Miles. Basically what we've announced in the changelog and elsewhere, we have added this to everyone's inbox. I actually had an office hour call with someone yesterday that thought this magic wand was Grammarly. It's not Grammarly. This is AI in your inbox. All you have to do is tap on the wand and you generate a AI reply. It's taking the context from your reservation, from different other, contextual basis, and generating amazing replies. It does feel magical. If you haven't tried it yet, please do. Next slide. We're going to make this available for everyone for no additional cost if you're at the current base price. So what we did, I think just yesterday, is we released an option to upgrade. So for people that are on a legacy price, ChatGPT, we do pay for it. It's not free for us, and we want to keep extending current functionality. We want to make stuff not require any setup. We want to make messaging rules just generate automatically. We want to make answers to questions generate automatically. That's going to keep increasing its cost to us as a company. And so we had to figure out somewhere to put that cost. And we thought it'd be fair to just ask and not force. You're welcome to stay on your existing price, but you can't upgrade to that current base price, which is US $40 or equivalent, depending on what currency you're paying in. That'll only affect your base price. So that base price includes two properties, right? So up to 2 properties and then you would still have the same, no change in your active property add-on that you get every month. If you're not familiar with that, you can go to hospitable.com/pricing. We have a pricing calculator there. So if you're on legacy pricing, you want to see what that change looks like, you can go ahead and check it out on our pricing page. You still have until May 26th to try this. So give it a try. And then if you think it's worth it, go ahead and upgrade. You can go to your subscription page in Hospitable and you'll see an upgrade button there now, and you can make that choice. Okay, on to direct. Few announcements. So we're not done with the rollout yet, unfortunately. We had a little bit of a pause in the rollout. We're having some issues with the payment processing platform, a little bit of difficulty with the verification of accounts. So that's been fixed. I think some people still have a little bit of trouble doing the know your customer KYC stuff. Our support team is doing a great job helping people through there. There are a lot of resources now. So if you are doing that verification for direct premium where you're doing the KYC requirements, please check the support documents. We'll walk you through all the steps you need. The form itself, they've done a pretty good job of working. We don't control that form. That's done by Adyen, the payment process, and we've worked with them to make some improvements to make it more user-friendly. But please, work your way through that. And we're going to get to the last 25% of customers, hopefully within the next week. So we're now at 75%. That's going to go to 100 very soon. And Australia is going to come out of beta very soon. We're going to get our local payment processing solution there live very soon. Otherwise, what you would have seen this week, cancellation policy manager is now live. There is one issue with that right now that we're in the process of fixing is you can only have one policy right now. We want you to be able to have different options. You can obviously choose from whatever option. You can customize whatever option you want. We can take a look at the UI in a minute just after this slide. But just know that you have to have a default policy for direct. And right now that is the only policy you can have. And we'll get that fixed so you can put different properties and different cancellation policies soon. A couple of people flagged an issue with estimated taxes in direct. The way we've set it up now, in some jurisdictions in the US, we'll actually estimate a higher tax in the initial stages, which isn't great. It makes the property appear initially to be a bit more expensive than it should be, but we do clear that out when you get to, once they've put in a credit card, your potential guest puts in a credit card, they'll see then the final calculation, and that will be accurate. That's not us, that's a dedicated third party doing the tax calculation. So just note that that is a known issue, and we'll get that fixed soon. We've kind of got a little bit of a skeleton crew on direct at the moment due to paternity leave and sickness and vacation right now, but we'll get to that as soon as we can. One thing you hopefully will see tomorrow or Friday is new payment options. So up till now, we've only had Visa and MasterCard as options. We were just kind of examining how our margins were looking, and because we are covering the payment processing fees for direct premium. But yeah, we're going live with Amex, Diners, Discover, JCB, and if you've got Union Pay for Chinese inbound customers, that's going to open up some new payment options for your customers. Google Vacation Rentals, I should clear something up. I was told my last town hall when I was not here, my boss got a little bit ahead of ourselves with announcing that Google Vacation Rentals is about to go live. We made a lot of progress, but we do have an audit period that we go through with Google Vacation Rentals. Right now, they're examining our property feed. So we're sending direct properties to them. Anyone that uses direct basic, direct premium will be able to use Google Vacation Rentals when that goes live. But that is not going to be this week. We probably still have I would expect up to 4 or 5 weeks still of auditing that we go through with Google. They're very safe and careful. And then when that's done, you will be able to get all that delicious inbound from Google Hotel Search and soon Google Maps. Otherwise, direct stuff that's coming up. We've been talking about Instant Book. Promo codes keeps getting mentioned in feedback to me. That's great. We are going to try and prioritize that a bit faster, and split pay. So Miles, if we can just take a look at the next slides. Anyone that hasn't seen the cancellation policy yet, we do set you up with basically a template of what you would expect from an OTA. So non-refundable, strict, balanced, easy, those kind of things. And then you can jump in and you can edit your policy however you like, so you can set your rules. One bit of feedback we got is there's next slide, please. There's rules that happen after booking and before check-in. And that was something we missed initially, is that some of you want the after booking rule. So like, I want it 100% refundable within 24 hours after booking. You told us you also want that clause to disappear if it's a last minute booking, or say within the last 7 days. You don't want them to have that time either. So we're going to add a configuration to enable you to also update that logic into the policy. And I think that's it for me. I'll come back for Q&A for anyone that has questions on direct. Otherwise, I'll pass off Emily to tell us some good news about smart locks.
Yay. I'm so excited to be in this town hall today because I feel like we have a lot of good news to report. So yes, let's move forward. Smart locks. So we've been talking a lot the past several town halls about our existing Schlage integration, which is not great. And we made the decision to move integrating partners. So we were working with a partner that we didn't feel was pulling their weight, and we made the decision to leave them and go with another integration partner that we have experience working with that helps us with all the other smart lock integrations, all except Schlage. And so now we're in the process of that. The integration itself is done. It's not yet live. What we need to do now is confirm that the migration that we have planned is working exactly as it should. And what that means for you guys is that when people on the existing Schlage integration reconnect their accounts, they're going to be moved kind of behind the scenes to this new integrating partner. We're hoping that you feel none of that, that you just reconnect your account and like all this magic happens behind the scenes. But before we're ready to release that to everybody, we just need to confirm several things. And so what we'd like to do is have some people raise their hands, or not actually raise your hand in Zoom, maybe post in the chat. If you are a host and you have the existing Schlage integration and you've been having some trouble and you'd like to join a private pilot to get on the new Schlage integration and you don't have any reservations checking in today or tomorrow, please post your name in the chat and Alyssa will reach out to you, and we are going to start the process of this like white glove migration service and really do that together over a phone call so that we can witness everything working and confirm that it's functioning as it should. If after that private pilot with a couple of hosts goes really well, we will then release the new Schlage integration to everybody. What will be required of hosts at that point is simply to reconnect their Schlage account. And so we'll make sure that we are communicating all the details to you when that time comes. So we're very, very close. We're very excited about it. Yep, so post your name in the chat if you'd like to be in this private pilot. Excuse me, I had to cough. Okay, let's see. Moving on to some other great improvements. I saw a couple questions earlier about Verbo. So during our last town hall, we were on the tail end of a pretty large Verbo incident, and we weren't yet able to claim success because some of the fixes that we put in place happened like literally hours and minutes before the town hall. So quickly, I'll just kind of cover that again because we have seen success here. So a couple weeks ago, we went through a large Verbo disconnection. These disconnections are initiated on Verbo's side as a part of like regular security work that they're doing. And it was super frustrating because a lot of our hosts got disconnected. But what made it even more frustrating is that after they reconnected, they would just be immediately disconnected again. I'm also a host. I got perpetually disconnected like 6 times in a row. So like, I feel the pain, definitely frustrating. We were able to identify something that we felt might be not really helping us here and put in a fix right before the last town hall. We are now able to confirm that that seems to have worked. The Verbo disconnections have largely stopped. And if you are disconnected, when you reconnect, like it usually sticks that first time. So good news there. This is not a promise that you'll never get disconnected again. Because of our unofficial integration with Verbo, this is going to happen. And now we're a little bit more prepared to deal with that. And hopefully get over that hump a little sooner. If you're curious about why we've chosen an unofficial Verbo integration versus an official one, go and watch our last town hall. I went into it in a little bit more depth, but just don't want to take that time today. Next, the emails that cried wolf. So we had these emails, reservation sync failed emails, and we were sending a lot of them, between 1,500 and 2,000 of them a day to be exact, which is just insane when you look at those numbers. Basically what was happening is we'd get a reservation, say on Airbnb, and we'd attempt to block your Verbo calendar. And Verbo wouldn't be able to immediately confirm to us that that block was successful. And so we would notify you right away. We'd say, we think this block might have failed. And by the time you went to check your Verbo calendar, it was actually successful. So after taking a deeper look, we realized we were just being a little bit impatient, and Verbo just needed a little bit of extra time to complete their work on that side of things. So we really just made a very small change. We're now just waiting a couple of minutes. And if after those few minutes we still can't confirm, then we'll send the email. But we've seen a huge impact here. Again, we've gone from sending 1,500 to 2,000 of these every day. And since we made the change, most days we're sending 0. And the largest amount that we've sent in a single day in the past 2 weeks is 3. So that's awesome. Now we're not going to get in your way if you're like one of those inbox 0 people. So we're sorry that we had been getting in your way before. And so now, yeah, big success there. And as for other Vrbo connection improvements, we have a lot planned that we're going to be starting on next week. I won't go into detail here because that work is going to take a couple of weeks, and so we'll probably have an opportunity to talk in more detail about that in future town halls when we're a little bit more closer to releasing that work. But know that our current focus is continuing to strengthen our Vrbo connection, and after that, to strengthen our Booking.com connection. Our team has been working super hard in the past few weeks to dig into our existing Booking.com integration and have identified a ton of ways to improve that, not only in the actual connection flow, which if you've connected your Booking.com account recently, you know is lengthy and complicated, but also in some more behind the scenes things. One of those being we're in the process of getting certified to use their messaging API, which is going to mean that we're actually pulling in Booking.com messages into our unified inbox more reliably because we have direct access to their messaging API. So we'll no longer have to use that special request contacts that we do now. So yeah, exciting things coming for Vrbo and Booking.com connection strength. Moving on to the next slide, we have just released a hospitable listing for direct bookings, and I'll take a second to explain what this actually is. So previously, the way that we thought about listings was if your property was listed on one of our connected channels, like a listing on Airbnb, a listing on Vrbo, a listing on Booking.com. But if you took a direct booking, that direct booking didn't really live on a listing. It was just kind of floating around there. And so we've made the decision to take a look at this and do a major refactor that now gives you a hospitable listing, which is going to hold your direct bookings, and by the end of the week, also hold your manual bookings. So this actually solves a ton of problems all at the same time. So we're really excited to not be dealing with some of these issues anymore. One of those being previously, if you had a property that only had one listing and you remove that connected channel, we would delete the property, which meant that we would also delete direct and manual reservations associated with that property, which was not great. This is going to solve that. We're not going to be doing that anymore. We also now are offering markups for your direct listings, which haven't been available in the past. We can also now turn on reservation sync in almost all cases. Before, reservation sync required that you had 2 listings on 2 different connected channels. But now it's okay if you just choose to list only on Vrbo, because your hospitable listing fulfills the requirement for having a second listing, and you can keep reservation sync on. So increase the likelihood that your reservations are getting shared across accounts. And also short codes. We're now going to be pulling from some new property details data for messages that are sent for direct bookings. So things like, the public name of the listing, Wi-Fi name, password, description, house manual, all that good stuff is going to be properly pulling in to populate short codes for messages sent that were booked on direct bookings. Great. Okay, so that's all there. Let's move on to the next slide, which is some really fun calendar upgrades. These are fun things, but we think make a really big impact. The first, this is just in beta. So if you'd like access to this and you don't have beta features enabled, maybe we can drop a link on how to do that in the chat. You can get access by enabling beta features. And that is having the availability to bulk edit your calendar based on the day of the week. So the use case here is you're a host and you're maybe looking at the next 2 months and you say, okay, this is busy season. I want to increase my minimum stay on Thursday and Friday to 3 days instead of the 2 days I normally have it. So before you would have to click on individual days to make that change. And now you can actually select the entire range and then select the days of the week that you want your changes to apply to and make edits to your availability, your pricing, and your minimum stay. It'll just save you a ton of time. Huge thanks to Ready, Set, Stay, who brought up this idea to Andrew in an office hours, and we're able to make it happen pretty quickly. So also that's just like a shout out for office hours. If you do have an idea that you think would be helpful for you and for other hosts, please schedule an office hours with us. Like we really do listen to you guys in those and many times work to put something in place that can solve your problems. Next, we're displaying any minimum night stay that's greater than 1 on the calendar day. So just look at the little crescent moon and you'll see a 2 or a 3 or whatever your min stay is, so that you don't have to click into each day to remember what you set there in the past. And also we've decluttered your calendar a little bit. We're now rounding off the decimals on the price. This doesn't change how the OTA is calculating the price if you have markups. And in fact, like we actually have been sending them the price as a round number this entire time, but had been showing you decimals kind of unnecessarily. So we're now rounding the decimals, so it just looks a little bit cleaner. All right, let's move on to integrations. We have 2 new integrations to announce. First being Wheelhouse, another dynamic pricing solution. Super excited. They've just released their integration with us, and we've made it available for users who have beta features enabled. And then next, coming later today, it's not quite there yet, we'll be showing a CleanStar integration in our apps page as well. Integrating with CleanStar would send your reservations directly to CleanStar, and they would then automatically book cleanings from their marketplace of cleaners every time you get a reservation. So 2 new integrations to share. More are coming. We have integrators contacting us all the time saying, we built this integration and we want to share it with your host. And so we're really gearing up to be able to give you guys more options there. And like Andrew mentioned, as we expand our team and have new product engineers coming on board to focus on integrations, we're excited to be able to offer you some kind of like homegrown integrations in the future that we've built and maintain and can help you guys save some more time. That's all I have today. So I think it's Q&A time. So I'll pass it back to Miles.
Great. Thank you very much, Emily. Yes, Q&A time indeed. So just a reminder, folks, you can raise your hand using the button at the bottom of the screen if you want to come on stage and ask your question. If you prefer to type out your question, please use the Q&A functionality at the bottom. That just kind of orders the questions in a nice format that helps our team kind of get to them in a methodical manner. So first off, I'm going to invite Ange onto the stage to speak. Hello,
Lots
Ange.
of hands raised. Lots of volunteers for the Schlage integration too. No shortage of volunteers to change integrators there.
Just a quick thing on that. There is only so many hours in a day, and so that might fill up with this many people. So if you don't see time on the calendar, that is why. But getting all these people tested and making sure it's smooth means that we get it out to everybody quicker. So.
Yeah, the plan is after these kind of guided onboardings for the new integration that we will be making it self-service. This is kind of just a safety check before we go forward. But thank you for the enthusiasm. Ange, are you unmuted?
Doesn't look like it. It might have been an accidental hand raised from Ange. So we're going to remove Ange from the list, and we're going to move on to Esmeralda. Esmeralda, are you ready to chat?
Hi, I just had raised my hand to be a part of the Schlage integration. So sorry about that. Didn't have any
No worries.
questions.
I think there'll be a few of those. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay,
That's my
next
fault.
up.
Terrible choice of words.
It's okay. It's fine. We'll move past it. So yeah, folks, if you did accidentally raise your hand for the Schlage integration, feel free to go ahead and lower that. You just need to press the same button again, just in case you are raising for that reason. So next up on the list, Scott. Scott, did you raise your hand for Schlage, or did you want to ask a question?
No, I actually would like to ask a question and comment as well. So thank you. First off, the very excited about the hospitable listing. Thank you. That's a fantastic addition. I've been wanting that for a very long time now, and I think that that'll go a long way for me to be able to actually test some things too as well, outside of having to create a blank listing in Airbnb. I do have a question around that. I know right now when you have a listing in the property details where it grabs all the information from Airbnb to sync into your property, are we going to be able to reforce that sync inside our property with Airbnb? I know right now there's not a good way for us to do that. I've had to contact support before if something gets out of sync. Do we know if that's going to be a possibility? And then the next question is, am I going to be able to rename my units as a direct booking inside of the property? Because right now when a guest goes to book directly, it shows the property name as it is in Airbnb. But then when they go to check out, it actually shows my internal name at the top of the booking request. And I don't necessarily want my guests seeing the internal name at the top of the booking request. So there's a couple questions there. and not necessarily looking for an answer at this moment on those, because I know that they might get involved in development. My next, oh, go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, can we jump in? Like, that was a little complicated here. The last part of your question, the public name, yes, that is improved now. So what we get from Airbnb, when you have an internal name and a public name, it gets sent to us in one field. And with this direct listing update, we're now giving you access to that public name, so you will be able to edit that now separate from Airbnb. So you now have a public name that is unique to direct. And then, yeah, what you flagged as far as, using the internal name elsewhere in direct, I need to look at that. I think we should be only using the public name. So that's a bug on our side, but thanks for pointing that out. And then Jen, did you have on the sync?
Yeah, real quick. The sync right now, for those who don't know, if you edit your details of a property in Hospitable, that'll stop us from getting details from Airbnb, because we'll say, oh, we'll take your manual edits as an override to anything on Airbnb. There is no way for you to reset that to like restart the sync again. So that is on support. I can imagine us building a way to give customers access to do that too. Just not possible yet. But I wanted to clarify something real quick, and Emily, Andrew, tell me if I'm totally misunderstanding this, but what we are building is the ability to create a listing on our side so that if you were to like delete your Airbnb account or do something, we don't lose those bookings, but there still won't be a way for you to create a listing that isn't already on an OTA.
Oh,
Not at this exact moment.
Not yet.
But that is the next step, is to basically start from zero, create a property. But yes, at the moment, what we're doing is the very high impact bug that was, if you disconnected your Airbnb channel, we would lose your data, because there was no placeholder there. So that is now fixed, which is great news. But it's not the last thing we're going to do in this space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
great.
sorry to rain on
Thanks
the
for clarifying
parade,
that.
but the sun is coming.
It's progress. Sorry, I have two more things, I think, or three, and I'll be quick. Cancellation policy, fantastic, awesome. I already went and created 2 custom profiles, and they seem to be working. Where do they show up for the guest?
So you're going to see in the booking flow.
We can hear you, Andrew. It's coming in.
Yeah,
sorry.
okay, sorry. It's going to be in the booking flow, and then we still have a to-do item to copy that cancellation policy to the confirmation emails they get. Right now in the booking flow, they're going to see the most relevant rule. So you might have like 3 or 4 rules in your policy. They'll see the most relevant rule in the booking flow. I think once they get to the review and confirm screen, maybe, if not earlier. I think earlier, but they'll see the most relevant rule. And then if they click on the expand option, if there's more rules, they'll see the following rules, and we'll calculate each checkpoint date, right? So if you have 100% until this date, 50% to this date, we'll show them the date and time when that rule expires.
Okay, I'll run through and do it. And then Andrew, do I talk to you about issues with Aiden and account verification?
Yeah, you certainly can. Just shoot me an email, and so. Yeah, if you're stuck and there's like, if you're seeing like processing for a long time, that's something we need to escalate. Or you've got, and we've seen people with some pretty edge case documents for like, I changed the name of my LLC and I have, this kind of non-standard a board memo that documents this. Yeah, that is going to have to get flagged for manual review. So if you haven't been able to submit that yet, you can forward that to me, and then I have the merchant screening contact, and we can give them your internal account number so they know where to look, and they can escalate that and try and get that verified for you.
Yeah, I've got a couple cryptic error messages. So, and I think, and one of them is about the document.
Yeah,
and then
it's been a struggle.
My last thing is my pitch and request for tags again. That actually, like when you create a tag, you can then use that tag again on other properties instead of having to pipe it up again. Exactly. Here's
I bumped up the priority on that as much as I could. I think we're going to get someone to do that.
I'm going to say every single time.
Yeah, no, totally understood. Bumbling the tag and implementation is a little bit embarrassing. So that's perfectly good to shout that out.
And it would be awesome for the cancellation policy, because I could say I have different types of properties that I'd have tagged, and I can just say, these properties get this cancellation policy, these types of properties get this one. So anyway, thank you. Everything. The product is getting truly amazing.
Awesome.
I'm very, very pleased.
Thank you, Scott, for that context on the cancellation policy too. Appreciate it. And yeah, just a general shout out to people. If you're having trouble getting verified again with direct premium payout methods, we do say in the documents, you can take direct bookings. You're just going to be stalled or delayed on getting your payouts. So it's not something to panic about, but it is something that we need to be investigating. So yeah, look at the help docs. We've tried to improve them and make them as helpful as possible. But some are going to require escalation, and that's something you can contact support, or if you have my personal email like Scott does, you can just forward that to me.
Cool. Thank you very much for the questions there, Scott. So now going to invite Becky on stage, if Zoom lets me. There we go. Becky, how are you? Potentially another Schlag hand raise, Becky. We'll just...
Smart locks are so difficult.
Nudge on unmute. No, okay. So we're going to try see if Matthew is available to talk instead. Matthew.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good, thanks. How are you?
Great. One quickie. I'm getting, I've contacted / harassed by somebody about font licensing on my direct site from the Type Foundry. I sent a message to support, but they're asking me for money on a font that's on the direct site. Do you guys know anything about this?
Yeah, no, we actually have a license for this font. I think the problem is as direct sites keep getting added, we have to keep sending them every URL that gets added. Totally stupid thing. I'm sorry that you've had to deal with this. Yeah, we have plans to remove that font. Although it is properly licensed, you can tell them it's licensed. And that's kind of a mild, small disaster that has happened. So yeah, it is licensed. You can't ignore them. And we will be replacing fonts with a general open commercial license font. So we don't have these people sending our customers emails. I'm sorry about that.
Great. Also on the subject of the direct site, I'm wondering if you're thinking about improving the UX on the reservation flow. Right now, it's 4 screens to request the, it feels very heavy as opposed to like, a lot of other kind of checkouts, 4 different screens. Like it'd be great if it's just like a simple, name, credit card, address. Any thoughts on that?
The problem is it's registration and booking. So like if you think about not having an Airbnb account and going to an Airbnb booking, that's a lot of steps. It is something we want to improve, but there is a certain amount of data that we have to get. So I think the main pathway to improvement for us is to look at it not as just a one-off booking, but you're actually creating a hospitable account that can be reused at other bookings. So we would be able to save you a bunch of steps if you have. So, as you go through that booking flow the first time, we'll then ask you at the end that if you'd like to save, your settings basically. So you're doing a guest checkout maybe in the beginning,
right? But
you could then validate an email, and then the next time you come back, we've got everything. You could save potentially a lot of that information. But at the moment, I don't know if there's any quick and easy gains because we do have to capture some information, and you're a guest user when you go through that booking flow now. It's not like Airbnb where you've created an Airbnb account, validated your ID or something. Like we don't have that yet.
Yeah, well, you asked for name twice. You asked for it first on the first screen, and then again on the billing address. You could have a check if that's the same, or even just having the same information on one form as opposed to 4 different web pages. I think I feel like there's room for improvement there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for that feedback.
And also, is any thoughts on right now, like the buttons and like date picker is like in your branding color, like the hospitable red. Like I would love to have that on, using my own like brand's color scheme.
Are you using a site or a widget?
Both.
Meaning like the hospitable site?
Yeah.
One of our templates. Okay. So we have 10 different template options. Have you seen those? Like if you go into direct and you look at if you just click on your site there, you'll see a design tab, and we've got 10 different templates to pick from.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with, I've heard of it, but I think regardless, once you get into the sort of booking request flow, it's the same red button and like date.
It depends on what template you're looking at. Most of them have been schemed to the template, but if you're using like the classic template, then you would see the raspberry color. Yeah.
I mean, just some settings to be able to like customize a little bit with like colors or whatnot would be super helpful, especially on the widget where it's going into another website.
Well, there you can, and we're kind of in a middle ground right there, but you can do different color schemes there. You can't totally customize your colors yet, but the widget, if you don't want the raspberry on there are definitely several options on the widget that if you can pick a more neutral color scheme. That's possible with the new widget. So if you go to Direct now and you add a widget, there's the new class of widgets allows you to
great. Okay, I hadn't seen that. Great.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks for the feedback, Matthew.
Yep.
Great. Thank you very much, Matthew. So now moving on to Gabriella.
Yes. Hi. Good
Hi
afternoon, everyone. Okay. My question is about the direct bookings, of course. I just started this week. I was able to get a booking with a client that is a repeat customer. Then I have another one that is also a repeat customer that wants to book with me. At the beginning, he says that he couldn't pay with the American Express credit card that you guys told that it's going to be ready by Friday, which is good. But then he told me that he put 2 different Visa cards and it didn't went through. So because I don't know exactly what they see when they try to book, I don't know if there's a way that I can take a look at the process, like as an outsider, like a fake booking or something like that, in order for the people that is not too savvy with computers or this kind of stuff, I can kind of, guide them how to book the property with me. And if they have problems with credit cards and all that, who should I call for help? Because I send a chat and I mean it takes forever to get an answer and help.
We're not going to be able to provide support fast enough, I think, at the moment for the booking flow. That is something that is in the support journey that we're on now, is to have in booking customer support to help for that. If their credit card is getting declined, there's probably nothing we can do though. Like that's nothing on our implementation. That's just going to the payment processor. And if they're flagging anything suspicious or the insufficient balance, etc., there's nothing that support's going to be able to do if the credit card gets declined. We absolutely encourage you, when you get Direct set up, to go ahead and do a test booking on your own. Like you should see what it looks like from your guest point of view. I recommend doing that. If you don't accept your request to book, then your credit card will never get charged, but you can go through that whole experience of going through the booking flow, putting in your credit card, checking out if you're doing direct premium, you can check out the auto host flow, what that looks like. And then just decline or let that request to book expire, and then you don't actually charge your credit card. I recommend doing that. If the credit card is declined, they will get the message back from the payment processor. So we'll explain why it's getting denied. Sometimes it's not always specific, but there's very limited options we have when a credit card gets declined. Hopefully with the update this week and supporting many more card types, we'll have more options for your customers.
So there's no one that they can even contact to see what is the problem with the credit cards, because he tried with his credit card, with a girlfriend credit card, and none of the credit cards were accepted. So, but since I don't know what is he seeing or what messages is he getting, I can't help him.
Honestly, I don't know what we could do. I'm not aware of any problems with the credit card processor. So, I mean, if it's going through a security check and it's not getting cleared, there's nothing our support could do either.
But do you know if they ask, what do they ask for them? That they ask for a copy of any type of ID? If the reservation is under one name and the credit card payment is in another name, that could be an issue. What can trigger that? So I can kind of give a light.
So there's two processes
concern.
there. Yeah. So for the credit card processing, we're just taking the billing address, name, and the credit card information and sending that to the payment processor. The guest vetting process that happens after that does involve getting an ID from the guest. That can be an issue if their primary card holder that they paid on is different from the ID they're trying to verify. And that's information you want to have and context you want to have, because that could be a signal for fraud. We're not always going to block that, though. That's not a payment processing issue. That's a guest vetting issue. So yeah, a credit card not being successfully authorized is something we have limited control over. If we're talking about IDs, that's guest vetting, and we're just going to share that information with you in the AutoHost profile and let you make a decision if you're willing to accept the risk level that that AutoHost has told us for this reservation.
Okay, but you said that I can do like a test booking myself.
It's
going up to the end.
Yeah,
going up to the end of the processing.
Yep. Okay. So right now everything is request to book. We're gonna do instant book as a feature, as an option later. It's not live yet, so everything that happens on direct, basic and premium, you're sending a request to book with payment processing already done. So when you request a booking in direct, we authorize the card for the value of the reservation. We do not capture the payment. We send it to you in Hospitable. You get to look at the AutoHost information once that's done by the guest, and you get to decide whether or not you accept or decline that reservation request. If you want to do a test booking, you're just going to decline that request, and then you don't have to capture the payment on your own credit card.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try that to see if I can see a light and help the client.
Yeah. Go try it out. Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Gabriella.
Thank you, Gabriella. Scott also just kind of pointed out a nice tip for AutoHost as well. When people are submitting photos of their ID, it needs to be kind of a blank background.
And AutoHost does tell you that.
A sheet of paper or something. He's had issues with blankets and comforters in the background.
Scott has been our priority pilot tester on AutoHost, and people taking photos of their ID with security featured holograms on marble backgrounds. And it's been a bit of a mess.
There you go. Thanks for the pro tip, Scott. Cool. So now moving on, Desmond, inviting you on stage now. Desmond.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So first of all, just wanted to say the product is awesome. It definitely saves me a lot of time, and it's getting better by the week. So I really appreciate the level of detail you all are putting into the improvements. So thank you for that. I wanted to ask a bit more about the booking.com upgrades. And I put a question in the chat, but I wanted to just give a little more context over the mic. And I wanted to ask, in relation to the customer support messages coming from booking.com, and also like the Q&A messages that you can get from a guest on booking.com, is there any like way to support those in Hospitable? And then also, can you just speak a bit more to like, what are the specific improvements being made? I know you said with the messaging, and also I think with the connectivity. So just looking forward to hearing more about that.
Yeah, I can speak to that. So, and sorry for the background noise, by the way, working from home, Joyce. So for the support messages, or I guess in messaging in general, we are going to be upgrading how we do our booking.com messaging to their messaging API, away from what we currently do where we use the special request contact. When we do that, there won't be anything that you're required to do. But in terms of receiving the support messages from booking.com, once we're in the messaging API, I don't believe that will still be a thing that will be included there. They specifically, as far as I'm aware, send those directly to the main contact email, or like the email that you actually would log into your booking.com account from. So I don't think you'd be getting it there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because it'd be ideal to have everything be able to be done in Hospitable, and me not have to go to Pulse or like admin.booking.com for the folks that are on Booking. So yeah, just something to think about if that support, does become available from them, or at least the Q&A messages from guests. Because ideally, like we were saying, like we don't have to kind of flip back and forth between the apps. But yeah, otherwise the level of support is great, and I really appreciate the work that you all do. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for mentioning that. It's something that be sure to look into. Some of the other improvements that you'll see, and I guess this would apply more for you if you went to connect a new property, but part of the improvements we're making is to that whole connection process. It's a big pain for literally everyone. And so we're looking to smooth that out and make it far, far easier as well. So
awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Desmond and Alyssa. So next up, it's the name of the company, so I'm going to attempt to just spell this out. SXMBNB, inviting you on stage now.
Yeah, hi. Thanks. You got it right. SXM.
Cool.
It's pronounced Sixum.
It's the SXM. It's the airport code. And actually, I have two questions. One is on Booking.com. Because I'm not in the US, an issue that we have is that we get bookings on Booking.com, and then I have to go to like another platform to produce an invoice. There's no credit card processing through Booking.com, and it's quite a hassle. I don't know if the new direct booking, if there's a way that I can just create an invoice for a customer that books on Booking.com and have them use the direct booking platform. And on that, how is the chargebacks going to work with the direct booking? Because I have an issue with this when I send, payment invoices out.
Okay, I can cover the second half of that at least. So
Andrew, I don't think any of us can hear you. Oh
yeah,
there's like a delay. It's working now.
A delay, I think.
I can hear you.
Sorry. Yeah. So the second half of your question. Sorry. So if you're outside of the US right now, you're probably not have access to Direct Premium. Direct Premium, we are the merchant of record, so we handle chargebacks. Outside of the US and well, Australia, to be fair, we're now in Australia. You are the merchant of record with your Stripe account, and so the chargebacks will go to you. Unfortunately, we don't have a solution in every market right now for that. On the Booking.com, Jen, do you have any background on that?
It's for those that don't have access to payments by Booking.
Yeah, so we can't help take those payments. I'm not sure, maybe there are other hosts on the call that can help, like what options Booking.com gives you. I think it's really country dependent too.
Yeah, and I think we've had hosts tell us that they don't want us to be involved, because that is kind of an option we can explore, that we have a pretty sophisticated payment solution we're building on Direct Premium, that as we grow in markets, we could potentially offer that as an option. But we've had hosts tell us don't do that, because maybe for Verbo, I can't remember, but they don't want to become the merchant of record for their own payments. They want the OTA to be that merchant of record.
Right. Okay. My other question, and my last one, is under messaging rules, you're allowed to add only one photo per rule. And I've been using this, and it's been really helpful for guests to know like which condo they need to check into. If I could automatically send them a photo with their check-in information. But is it possible to include functionality to add more than one photo?
Yeah, so right now, no. That could be something we do in the future. What I have seen some hosts do though is set that message with a delay and set up like one message and then another one message with a 1 minute delay. Well, first, let me ask, when are you sending them? Is it at a certain time before check-in? Is it right after they book?
Yeah, it's 3 days before check-in.
Okay, so yeah, what you could do is say send one message 72 hours before check-in, send another message 71 hours before check-in, and in that second message include a different photo and so on.
But but under the same rule only allows one photo. It's not it'd have to be like a pre-booking then post-booking, right?
Yeah, so what
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe I'm not wording this well, but basically what I'm recommending is setting up multiple messaging rules. So if you want to send 3 pictures, 3 different messages and rules, they each send a minute apart. So you can send 3 different photos, 1 in each rule.
On the same event, right? So if you want this to go out like pre-check-in, you could set up 3 rules for pre-check-in with different delays, and that would be a way of sending 3 pictures.
I'll message you guys, but I don't think that works like that. I think you're allowed 1 photo per rule, whether it be before booking 1 photo, and then before check-in 1 photo, and staying 1 photo. It's not per message.
No, yeah, it's per message. So you can send 3 different messaging rules, each based on check-in, and each of those messages can have a photo.
Huh. All right, I'll send you some screenshots because I haven't been able to figure out how to add.
Okay.
More
yeah,
photos.
reach out. I'm happy to help you look at that.
All right, thank you guys very much, and great product.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. So next in the queue is Hamid. Invite you on stage now, Hamid. Hello.
Yes. Sorry, I have to talk quietly. There's another meeting going on. Basically, we have multiple properties and multiple cleaners in the team. And right now, I don't know any way to, we set up an SMS, but everybody got all the SMSs. Like we only want one cleaner per property, but we couldn't figure out a way to, just send the SMS to that one cleaner, send it to everybody. Want to see if that's a solution for that.
Yeah, hi, I'll take this one. In short, our operations feature set. It's definitely the least intuitive part of the product. It's a bit complicated to set that up. It is possible, but it would be based on you assigning a cleaning to a specific person. So if you have 5 cleaners, let's say, and you want to give only cleanings for cleaner A to property A, we can help you set that up. But yeah, if you want to reach out to our support team directly, we can kind of guide you through that. Really depends on your setup. I'll also put in a plug. We do have a connection to Turno, and they actually have some really great advanced features that'll let you do a lot more dynamic things than we can even when it comes to communicating cleaners and getting cleaning set up. And with us, you actually get a free subscription to Turno as well. So that might be a good option to check out too.
Okay, great. I just wanted to also, I'm happy to hear that you're improving the messaging with Booking.com, because for the longest time, I had this tiny URL shortener in there, and it would just reject, Booking.com would just reject the messages, and there's no feedback. So I'm like, what's going on? Half of the Booking.com messages wouldn't go in, and finally figured that out. So I'm happy that you're doing another way of making another way of Booking.com message integration happen. And if you're not, then I would hope that you capture when Booking.com says, sorry, you cannot post this message, you would capture that error, because it looks like it wasn't captured before.
It's good to know that we weren't capturing that error before. In terms of sending those messages, it's generally it's Booking.com's own policies that are causing those to be blocked. I know that it can be an issue with a lot of OTAs sending any links before a booking is fully paid for. Right. So that could be what you're experiencing. But yeah,
we do flag a lot of those now in the product, right? So that's kind of a newer feature. Is as you're editing a messaging rule, we'll let you know if we believe, based on our understanding of the OTA policies, if that message will be successful or not, and we'll try and prompt you. But we might have missed a rule on that.
The shortener, yeah, it was a tiny URL. I don't know if the shortener caused that, but anyways, I just want to bring up the last thing I wanted to bring up. Give me a second. Now I lost my track of thought. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hamid. Sure.
Well, thank you very much, Hamid. So I think we're getting to time here, to be honest. It is 1 p.m. on East Coast. We're going to squeeze in one more. Andrew wants to squeeze in one more. So Sandeep, you are the... Oh, no. Sandeep has disappeared from the queue, just like that. Oh, no. Back again. Sandeep, are you available?
Sorry, I pressed it accidentally. Thanks for taking my question. So I'm relatively new to the platform. I've been using it for over a month, but I had 2 questions. One is, I just connected my VRBO account and I have 4 listings, but it's showing me 0 listings when I look at the connected accounts. Oh, it's just popped up. I'm sorry. It was showing 0. It's popped up now. So I think good. I'm good over there. The second question I had was, can you guys hear me?
We can. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep. Okay. The second question I had was, is there like a one-on-one training that you guys offer for some of the, more the features that I'm probably not using, like direct bookings and things like that? Some of the messaging rules and things like that, best practices and whatnot.
Hey, Sandeep, Vera here. Absolutely. So we host them twice a week. It's a group demo. Just reach out to support. They're going to send you a link to it, and you can attend as many of them as you'd like and ask us any questions during those calls. Again, it's twice a week, so just reach out to get that link. And
yeah, but those are already pre-scheduled. I'm saying like a custom call which fits my schedule. Like I can set up something and something on those lines.
Gotcha. I think that due to availability at the moment, we do not offer those, but however, we're very open to help out through support, through email, and through the group demos as much as we can.
Yeah, Sandeep, also we have, I will shoot this in the chat or if someone can beat me to it. We have a whole help center, which has a whole bunch of videos on like all the in-depth parts of our product, walking you through that. So it'd be a really great first step to like learn all those features. And if you still have questions, you can chat us. Yeah, we can always get on a call if there's something technical you want to go over. But yeah, we do have a bunch of resources kind of guide you and like do it at your own pace too.
Okay, great, thank you. And one, when I know I said two questions, but one last question. Is which pricing tool do you guys recommend? I know that you guys recently integrated with Wheelhouse. So, I've been using Price Labs, but I wanted to find out because, I was doing some research and everywhere it says Wheelhouse is the golden standard for pricing and stuff. Is that something you guys also noticed or you recommend?
Yeah, it's hard for us to step in and recommend because we're kind of working in an open partnership relationship with all of the integrations we have, whether it's Price Labs, Beyond, Wheelhouse, or any other. So yeah, I think it's a little difficult for us to make a recommendation for one over the other.
Or maybe what your customers are telling you, like which is. I'm not asking you to give me a recommendation from your perspective, but from what customers that are actually on Hospitable are recommending.
I think maybe it's a good question like for our Facebook page where there's a lot of active Hospitable hosts, and they would be, I think, happy to share opinions there. It's just, yeah, it's not a great position to put us in to be recommending one partner over the other.
Gotcha. All right, thank you. Fair enough. Yep.
Thanks, Sandeep.
Yeah.
I'm sharing a link to our Facebook group in the chat now, Sandeep, so you can go and ask the community there. Definitely a lot of helpful hosts in there willing to answer questions and provide their recommendations. So good recommendation from Andrew there. Cool. So I think that is officially time. We're a few minutes over. So thank you everyone for joining today. Just a reminder that the recording is available on YouTube. If you missed anything, we will be back at the same time 2 weeks time. We won't be in the same place though. We'll actually be on our retreat in Jamaica. Certainly most of us will be there. So we'll try and get a few more people on our call on the next town hall so you can see a few more of those new faces and have more than just the regulars on this session. So thank you very much for joining and yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Cheers. Bye.